Hello and welcome to Swimfans, Unknown Pleasures, your number one movie podcast for the week. I'm your co-host. Oh, Mary. I'm Josh McKenzie.
This is Craig Neeson. Who am I speaking to? Oh, Mr. Garland. Mr. Garland. Alex, I fucking hate you.
I have such a problem with pronouns. I'm Jennifer Hawking.
This week, that's really good. This week on Unknown Pleasures, we are talking 1970 William Friedkin film, The Boys in the Band.
Just do it.
Okay, so if you've not seen The Boys in the Band, this movie is about Michael. All right, he lives in New York. He is a gay man, and his friend Donald comes over, and they like queen out or whatever. And what we know about them is that they're getting ready for a party for their mutual friend Harold. So all of their friends are coming over, and they're sort of getting ready. As they're getting ready, Michael receives a phone call from his former college roommate, Alan. His name is Alan. He gets a phone call from Alan, and Alan is like in tears, and he's like, I really need to talk to you. And what you have to remember is that this is, the mid-century where you're not supposed to tell people you're gay. So Alan, of course, ostensibly has no idea that Michael's gay. So Michael's like, oh, well, I would invite you over, but he's having the girls over for the birthday party. So he's like, but we can get dinner like another time. And Alan's like, oh, no, it's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll reschedule. So Alan is not coming over, but the gays begin arriving at the apartment. So you have Hank and you have Larry, and they are a couple. Larry is like a photographer, and Hank is like a school teacher. And importantly, Hank doesn't seem to like quite fit in with the Queens, right? He is sort of like a bit apart from the group. He doesn't mince quite so much. He's sort of like a man apart a little bit. And then you have Emery, who is the very effeminate member of the group. Emery's the one sort of doing like the camp way of speaking, the more effeminate affectations. And then you have Bernard, who is the only black man in the group. So all of the other gay men who are white kind of never let him forget that at any point during the evening. And then you have the man of the hour, the man who the birthday party is for. You have Harold, who, as far as I know, is the only Jewish man in the group, and he is sort of like an evil gay guy. I don't know how else to describe it. He's just sort of like he has a bit of like a sort of like an Aleister Crowley kind of energy to him. I don't know. He's like an arch energy to him. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the friend group, and they're sort of settling in. They're sort of like partying. They're like cutting up a little bit. They're teasing each other and making fun of each other, getting ready for the party. At one point they're dancing. They sort of fall into this thing where they're all dancing together. And there's a knock at the door, and we assume it's Harold, but Michael goes to the door to open it, and it is in fact Alan. So even though he said he wasn't coming over, he does come over. Unfortunately, everybody's like right in the middle of queening out. So like you can't really hide that it's like a straight guy's birthday party. But Alan stays anyway. And, Michael's trying to get everyone to sort of like act straight, not give off that they're gay people. But again, Emery is very effeminate, and he refuses to pretend like he's not. Which sort of leads to Alan getting increasingly uncomfortable. But Alan does think that Hank is straight, so he clearly takes a shine to Hank. So the evening sort of progresses awkwardly. They're sort of like avoiding this colossal elephant in the room, and this apartment, which I have a whole segment about later. This apartment has like a terrace area, and it begins to like rain torrentially, like shelves are falling down. The rain is so hard. So they have to move the party inside, and now everybody is trapped inside. And at some point, eventually, Emery says the wrong thing to Alan, and Alan, in like a homophobic rage, snaps and like punches Emery in the face. They sort of separate them. And now it's just all of these like uncomfortable people in a room. Oh, there's also, by the way, sorry, Emery also hired like a sex worker for Harold. That's the last guy in the room. He has like 12 lines, but he's sitting there. So anyway, they're all sort of sitting inside the room, and then Michael thinks of a game to play, like a quote unquote a game to play, where what you do is you pick up the phone and you call the person you love the most. And there is a point scale based on if you call them, if you introduce yourself, if you speak to the person, and then finally if you tell them that you love them on the telephone. And so the bulk of the movie, like the last like 50 minutes, is Michael increasingly erratically and manically and cruelly forcing members of his friend group to play this phone game. So like really briefly, Bernard calls his friend from childhood, and he's like devastated after doing this. He's very embarrassed. He feels like, you know, guilt or shame for doing this. Emery calls this man that he is in love with, and this man thinks that he doesn't remember him at all. He thinks he's got like the wrong number. Hank and Larry, who have been like high key breaking up the entire movie, end up calling each other, which was actually really sweet. And they end up sort of reconciling. And then it sort of all culminates in Michael trying to force Alan to call this mutual friend of theirs, because the sort of Michael-Alan plotline is that Michael is positive that Alan is closeted, and he came here to come out to Michael or something. Along those lines. So he confronts Alan again in front of everybody, being like, "You're gay, you fucked our friend, come out and admit it, call him on the phone right now." It's so much pushier and meaner than you could possibly imagine. I'm doing it no justice. So finally, Alan does pick up the phone, and he calls who you think is this guy. And Michael is so sure is this guy, and he snatches the phone out of his hands. But it turns out, Alan called his own wife. And so he calls his wife and tells her he loves her. And then he's like, I'm going back to where I came from. So he leaves the party. And then sort of at this point, the party is ending. So Bernard, who is again in shambles over calling his childhood love, leaves with Emery, who takes him home. Hank and Larry are, as far as I know, just like in Michael's bedroom. And then the cowboy leaves, Harold leaves. So everyone's gone. And then Michael has like a complete breakdown to Donald in the living room, just a sobbing like fit, a sobbing mess. And it sort of ends with... after Donald like tries to comfort him, Michael sort of like puts back on his act, and you sort of get the sense that they will all do this again the next day or the next party or the next social situation. What did we think of The Boys in the Band?
Who picked it?
I did, but I also just spoke for 10 minutes. I can keep talking if you want me to.
I thought this was fucking crazy. I didn't know that this movie existed prior to Josh recommending that we watch it. No, like all I know from Friedkin is cruising. Part of me is shocked that like a movie like this exists. Frankly, I know it's based on a play, a very successful play. I know Emery, the actor who played Emery, Cliff Gorman, reprises his role on screen here. I think it's tremendous. Oh, they all do?
It's it's all the cast from the play. Everybody.
Oh, I had no idea. It just fucking the chemistry of all the actors, the extremely like knife's edge. We are friends, but we also fucking hate each other. Friedkin's occasional like thriller flourishes where we'll see like Michael's face reflected in the glass, and it'll be like an Exorcist moment. You can kind of see like you can see the man's chops here for filmmaking. He's on it. And yeah, what starts as a relatively like innocuous friends getting together and exchanging the kind of somewhat playful, if not like skirting the edge of unplayful, kind of like the bullying that happens between close friends becomes ritualized in a sadistic game. And holy shit, I mean, when that rain comes, this movie just a light just switches on or off depending on your perspective, and it gets harrowing. I mean, the amount of like force these actors bring to the table in their performances, the devastation, the joy, the self-hatred, like it's so masterfully performed. I mean, this cast is fucking nuts. And Friedkin, like I can't, like this is early Friedkin, right? How many films did Friedkin make before this? Like it's just like he's demonstrating skill that I feel like he, I would anticipate like at some point would develop. But like Athena, he was sprung fully formed, like from fully formed as a filmmaker. I think it's, and also just on the note of the personal, I think it's like an elegant portrait, an untidy, appropriately like untidy, messy portrait of gay men, queer men trying to navigate the fucking treachery of being what they are in the world that they're in. It's devilish. It's really it's a really simple conceit, and it's carried forward with just superb writing and superb acting and superb directing. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think I'm going to echo a lot of what Craig just said. I knew that this movie existed in the same way that I knew that like Friedkin, I think, directed some like Sonny and Cher movie at the beginning of his career, but I always sort of had the understanding that his career didn't really take off until like The French Connection. But no, I mean like that, and I wasn't really expecting too much. It was based on a play. Usually, I find adaptations of plays like for cinema to be like kind of claustrophobic and like kind of like not really like speaking to like cinematic language, like oftentimes like it can't really like get over like the confinement of being in so few kind of like limited locations. So I was really kind of coming in with like the most reasonable of expectations, but that like wasn't really the case here, especially in the back half. Like once that rain kicks in, it felt like Sorcerer for like 35 seconds. Like it felt like the presence of the rain was like as overbearing as it was when they're like crossing that bridge, like it's so like earth shattering in that moment, and they're all scrambling and they're all trying to like save what they can from outside. Like there's still very much the same kind of like desperation. It's really kind of amazing to see. And then like once you're inside and like the game starts, like the camera is so kind of dynamic and like the blocking is amazing. Like it always felt like the relevant characters were like sharing the frame, even if like they weren't like on, because like it's a bunch of people standing around. Like a lot of people don't really move that much during that sequence, but they always find ways to like get everyone in perfectly. Like Michael will just like loom over whoever is on the phone out of focus and like sort of like start counting off the points, like to like raise the tension and everything. Like it's incredible. It's like a perfect synthesis of like playwright and filmmaker. Like it's genuinely enthralling to watch. Like it reminds me of like 12 Angry Men or something, of like you're dealing with this confined thing, but like everything is escalating that like I don't know, it's so engrossing and it's so satisfying to watch, and like all these actors are great, like especially the guy who plays Michael. I thought he was so like dynamic. He like switched between like manic and depressive, and he like really fucking gives life to that character like in like a really compelling way. And I think all of them get like the room in like at least like one moment to like really kind of like solidify their characters and like place them in the context of the story in like an intelligent way. It's fucking awesome. I love this. This is great.
Let's pretend I chose this, remembering it was the eve of Pride Month when we did it, so I can seem like I did it on purpose. This was on my watch list. I knew, because I mean, if you're a longtime listener of the show, I think all of us had a pretty strong positive reaction to Cruising. So when I heard that Friedkin had another gay movie, I'm like, yeah, that's going on the watch list. I will be watching that at some point. And I was just like really in the mood for this. I don't know. This was like, I already might adjust my rating, like just like thinking about it again. But like this was so, for me, and this is crazy because this movie is like a bad vibes generator, like start to finish. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
But I found this movie like really healing in like a weird way, because if I can get on like a soapbox for a second, like there's so much of like a historyless, I don't know, like Craig, if you ever felt this way, but there's so much of like a historylessness to like contemporary gayness. Like there's this sort of recurring joke, which I've said because it's, you know, it's tongue-in-cheek true, that like Lady Gaga invented gay people in 2008,
right?
And before that there wasn't anybody. And to be honest, it feels that way because like there was so much shame and stigma around it for such a long time that, like, you know, you didn't even see a gay person on TV until Will and Grace. At least that's the earliest one I can remember, and that's 2001 or something. I don't know, maybe 99. So like it wasn't something that I could see as a kid. So when I was a child, the only gay people I could see was if I looked to see what Jeffree Star was doing on MySpace. Like that was really that's hand to
Brutal.
God. That was my only option. So like you know, there is sort of this, and you know, I make a concerted effort to try to find, you know, gayness from before there was the internet, from before it was, you know, a world that I recognize. So like, I have a hobby of collecting these gay pulp novels from the 60s to the 80s. I really like reading them. There's a lot of incredible like lesbian novels from that time as well that, you know, that don't, you know, completely mirror my experience, but there's a lot that I connect to in them anyway. So like it's something that like is like means a lot to me personally, to remember that like there have always been people like us, you know? And so to see the boys in the band, to see how like little the slang has changed.
Yeah.
To see how little the way that like how like not different it is, the way that they interact. Like, don't get me wrong, they're evil. I've never had evil gay friends like this. But like in like a very minor way, like you have a friend in the group that you like tease about something in particular, right? Like of the gay friends that I know, like I have the one who is hopelessly always getting in trouble with a twink, right? Like lets a twink ruin his life and then moves on and gets another one. Or like I get in trouble. I get teased for being like, oh, do you have another Bowser picture on your phone? You know what I mean? You do have these things that you like rib each other for, and they take on a life of their own, like in this movie. And so to watch them like cut up and just sort of like be in this space, and they're doing like very much the types of things that like I do, like when I'm really queening out, like with Kyle DeLita, you know what I mean? Like it's not that different. I mean, just again, it's not evil, but like there's a lot of overlap in a way that like to me, just like I was like shocked, like to see people like that in 1970. This is one of the earliest things I can find. I've seen a documentary that's older, like it was drag queens in the early 60s, and of course this is fiction. I believe about half of these actors are straight and half of them are gay, but like you would be surprised about which ones are which. So like so even though this is fiction, even though not all of these men are gay, there was so much like truth to this that like truly it was really healing to see, to feel like there was like a historical connection, what it must have been like to know gay men in 1970, or at least a facsimile of that. So there was this incredible sensation of like connection or something. Anyway, about the actual movie, I really liked it. I liked all the performances are really fun. It's the worst party in history. I can't believe that anybody was like, yeah, we'll play this like satanic game that you've quote unquote game that you
ruin your lives.
Yeah. All of the actors are so good. I instantly had so much affection for all of them. I was so charmed by each of them. I could have watched the actor who plays Emery. I could have watched him do anything for like 3 hours. I wanted to like, again, until it becomes like a bad time, I wanted to be there so bad. I wanted to just hang out with them. But yeah, the acting is crazy. I absolutely echo what Jennifer said. The blocking is ridiculous. Like, this is not a big apartment. So like the apartment is based on a real apartment, and the exterior scenes were filmed at the actual apartment, but they recreated the interior for the living room. That was like a set. But like, it's like such a, I'll save apartment talk for later, but like the space is so great for this. It feels at once foreboding because it's so fucking dark in there. But also it feels like, it feels like a real like living space at the same time. So it really feels at all times like you're just sort of in this room with 9 people who are short circuiting in real time. Yeah, I could just keep rambling, but I was blown away by this. It was better than I could have expected. God damn it, Billy, you've done it again.
You son of a bitch.
And so, like, ostensibly, William Friedkin is a straight man. No, like I don't think I've heard anything to the contrary.
As far as
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stories of him on the set of Cruising are a little eyebrow raising, but from everything I've been able to tell, it's just him being crazy Uncle Billy and not necessarily him being a repressed homosexual.
Right. I mean, and one kind of wants to read that almost necessarily when you look at Cruising, you look at a film like this. It's like, well, this guy was having sex with women, like one because Josh said, I think what's rendered here, like in the way that some artworks can capture truths and then reconstitute them, like this movie just does it so deftly. You have this like crazy microcosm of fox in the hen house or like hen in the fox house with the fucking dweeb, the Allen guy, and like, and it's interesting because like I find him reprehensible, but he's also like he's also being trapped in the apartment kind of like semi against his will by Michael. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a piece of shit, but like and I think the movie doesn't really provide much ambiguity in terms of like what he is, which is to say a bigoted straight man who just like is falling off because his marriage isn't going so well or whatever. Like he's crashing out a little bit and then finds himself in this like absolutely insane circumstance, at least for him. But I love the way that he's he seems to have like a lot of power. Like, he chills the entire party, right? Everyone starts acting real fucking weird. And like, in this way that like it like the resonance, it feels weird. He immediately latches onto the straightest acting guy there. The guy in the tie, right? The guy with almost no effeminate affect at all. And it's like, I like playing tennis. Tennis is a great sport. That's a man's sport. It's just like, like this fucking
sport I can think of, by the way.
It's so fucking weird. And then like Alan tries to save him, right? Like he tries to save him from the party. Sorry, is it Larry or is it
Hank? That's Hank.
Yeah, it was Hank. Yeah, he's like, Hank, come with me. I can save you from these homosexuals. It's like, no, dude. Larry and Hank are lovers. Go ahead, Hank. Tell them all about it. Yeah, we're lovers. Yeah, like, and the division of like what wealth does, how wealth plays across friendships, how race and class play across friendships. The one of the lines to me that's like the most like I don't know how to say this, like explosive or devastating is like Michael, I think it's Michael, makes this like note that Bernard allows Emery to kind of Uncle Tom him, and then Bernard replies, well, like, Emery is like, we're at the same level. He's a visibly gay man and I'm a black man. Like we're like there's a like it's such a like it's such a raw, just like insane moment of like the reality in which like they're I mean, in a lot of ways, Michael is like, let's cut the shit. But like in cutting the shit, like all these wounds start spilling out. Because as a composite, they are like a room full of wounds. And Harold, Harold is a perfect foil to Michael's like just, manic need to cut everyone down. Harold is like, I'm way better at playing this game. You don't want to play this game with me. And that turns out to be totally fucking true. You don't want to play a game with Harold. And the grammar, the language of the film.
You don't want to play a game with me.
He's so good. That actor crushes it.
Oh, he killed, he's so bulletproof. There's very little in the way of even as acerbic and cutting as Michael can be, he still doesn't quite get his his knife through his armor there. And the way that he arrives to the party, the grammar, the language of the cinema, it's like when fucking the father arrives in The Exorcist, right? He's like, he's like, you've opened the door
or the killer in Cruising.
Yeah, right. You've opened the door to a slasher villain. He's got these, he's like evil Bob Dylan, with those glasses and that hair. And it's just, and the way that he circles the cowboy, the gift from Emery, like a fucking vulture, the entire film. There's there's libidinal drive. There's the caste system of top bottom. There's even though it's not really it's not fully articulated in that way. Emery is gestured to be someone who does sex work, right? He talks about turning tricks, and it's the good thing about masturbation is it doesn't matter how you look. There's such a raw display of human fucking pain here that it overfloweth, and it overfloweth in a way that it is heightened, of course, but heightened in a way that to me just so deftly sketches out things that I've encountered in my life, situations I've encountered in my life. They just rendered in a way that I've never seen rendered before.
When this movie came out, there was so similar to Cruising, although definitely not as people weren't nearly as mad about this as they were about Cruising.
Yeah.
But people were still pretty mad about this. There was a lot of journalism at the time talked about how Friedkin has given over to stereotyping, he's done such. There was one critic who I don't think was named even, was and they might have been talking about the play maybe more than this movie. But again, it's the same actors. I think they're probably quite close. And they're the play has done irreparable damage to gay men.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And when I was watching this. And I'm thinking about Cruising as well, because Cruising, of course, is a ridiculous story about how if you're too close to gay men, you become a serial killer, or you get sleeper cell agent into becoming a serial killer. But it's also an interesting story about desire and what that can do. So the idea that and this is clearly an old idea. Again, critics were writing this in the late 60s, early 70s, that there was that if gay men are represented, or I guess queer people broadly. You could make this argument now about trans people as well. That if these queer people are represented in a way that doesn't highlight all of their positive attributes, that any of the negative ones, then you're stereotyping. You're doing damage to the community. And that's just so wrong. It's what I think is so beautiful about this movie is that gay men have such capacity for evil.
Yeah, right. Right.
And I say that in a funny way, but also
I've
all
seen
of the
it.
issues that all of the issues that are in this movie are still in our community now. Bernard is othered by all of these men because he's black, and like racism is a crazy problem in the gay community. Emery is othered because he's visibly, just by being himself, much more effeminate. There's a point where Michael's like, who would ever have sex with you on purpose for like a mincing queen like you? And that is a huge problem in the community, that like there is only one sort of desirable guy, and it's Hank.
Yeah.
Guy who is straight passing. There's like all of these like sets of othering. Like there is like sort of something that it feels a little archaic to me now, where Michael's sort of like othering point is that he's the most self-loathing of the group. I don't personally know any self-loathing gay men. I'm sure they still exist. But I do think that is something that has changed since 1970. Is it's just I don't know any. I'm sure they're out there. Okay, but like I don't know any anymore. But like all of these, Harold is Jewish, which nobody lets him forget at this party. And so like, all of these things are like in this room, how even all of, these men who are so unable to be themselves that they have to pretend when one straight guy comes over to the apartment that they weren't just queening out 4 seconds ago. That even within this community, they still are like subjugating each other. And all of that is so present in the community. So when critics or like thinkers or like people are like, you can't show gay men that way, it's like, why not? Like how can you possibly see yourself? How can you possibly see what's beautiful? How can you enjoy the scene where they're all dancing together and they have stopped bickering for 27 seconds and they're dancing together and it's so fun, and I wish I was there? How can you possibly appreciate that if you can't see all of the bad parts? They're not, because then it's not a complete picture. It's a sanitized, Disney-fied image of gay people, and it's like, if you can't see queer people when they're being evil, when they're being cruel, when they're being abusive, when they're being terrible to others, how can you appreciate all of the good stuff? And I can't, because you still see these criticisms now as you did in 1970. All I can say is thank God for William Friedkin, who was willing to let gay people be extremely fucked up on screen, because there's just not that many.
Right.
You gotta hand it to him.
You must, because there's more empathy there than these weepy 20 teens like gay pictures where it's people are like holding hands for 85 minutes. Like those are fine. Like I don't have a person, even though I shit on them all the time on this show, I really don't have a problem with those. But like there's so much more empathy here to see people at their lowest, because you also see them at their highest. And like, I don't know, how can you say Friedkin's doing damage?
Right.
He's showing real people.
Right. It's the confectioner's sugar deep fried Love Simon thing that in my mind is the damage. Like the Zizek line that I've parroted out here many times, where Barack Obama had this I'm going to say unfortunate way of speaking about immigrants in the way that like, but like they're doctors and they're lawyers and they're firefighters and so on and so forth. And it's like, no, man, like, immigrants could be vulgar, lazy. They could have betrayed their best friend when they needed them the most. They could be liars and cheats. And that would make them no different, no more worthy or less worthy of dignity than being like a fucking pediatrician, like this fanciful idea of this Edenic like caricatured a noble immigrant that's upstanding. It's like no, like no, they can be vulgar, they can be disgusting too. Right? They can be nothing like you would ever imagine. You wouldn't want to like fucking be friends with them, but nevertheless, they deserve dignity. And like the same thing here is we're allowing these characters to have all of these pains and lash out and do and say reprehensible things to each other. And in that way, like you do service to a character, because a character gets to be in this way fuller, more human. Even if it's heightened, it's like a little more like accurate or something. And, meanwhile you have like, something like Love, Simon, which is this parody paradise where, you know, the fruit was never bitten. Barack Obama never sought being president, and in the suburbs, the white gay kid, you know, got to like be really affluent and have supporting weepy parents. You know, like it's not it's just like that to me feels like evil. That to me feels like malice and oversimplification, and a kind of and a glossing over of just like basic. I don't know. It feels like it feels fantasy. It feels carnival-esque. Is what I'm trying to say. And this feels. I mean, it's brutal, but it feels grounded, right?
Yeah, because in the Love Simon milieu, and this is a broader point about the idea of stereotypes, but like in the Love Simon milieu, you get to be accepted and you get to be out, as long as you're white, as long as you're affluent, as long as you're able-bodied, as long as you're masculine, for God's sakes, as long as you have a six-pack. If you fit these extremely narrow parameters, you're allowed to be gay and you can talk about it. And it's this broader point about, because you still see this criticism sometimes like levied at things like RuPaul's Drag Race, where like, they're perpetuating stereotypes. And it's like, by what? Existing? I'm speaking just about like gay people here, but like stereotypes exist because at some point they were in some way reflective of real people. Like, of course they can be used to be evil and they can use to dehumanize. But like there are people like Emery, there are people like that. And it's just the way that they are. And then, so when you get this idea of like, oh, I need stereotypical gay men, and what you're asking for is gay men who don't talk about having gay sex. They don't talk about being gay. They're just any guy from Columbus, Ohio.
Yep.
And that's what passes for non-stereotypical gay men. And I'm like, that is reflective of nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody that I want to watch a movie about.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody except Pete Buttigieg, you know, who has a mineral map of Afghanistan in his living room. Folks, he has a mineral map of Afghanistan in his living room. That is sociopath behavior. That is McKinsey brain. It is awful. You know, like it's only acceptable insofar as you fit like you know, this like, so like liberal, progressive, however you want to call it, like idea of how you comport yourself in public. And again, I've met so many Emerys in my life that like you know, to me that idea that Emery is a caricature, like just that argument just dissolves into nothing, because I know people that are just they're like that, you know, that are effeminate by nature, and that have developed like an incredibly incisive and cutting sense of humor to defend against the constant attacks that they get. Because I mean, Emery is a lightning rod for everyone in the party's like attacks.
Everybody's
like,
abuse.
Yeah, like Emery can't do a thing without being criticized for it. And like, you know, part of Emery's nature, to me, this is just so well observed, is that he's developed this sense of humor where he can flip it right back and cut to your jugular. I just like, I mean, again, like stereotypes, caricatures, you know, however you want to cut it, but like having to exist as like a visibly queer person, like, and develop a kind of, you know, cutting sense of humor to defend and deflect and to like, it's just like, that's, to me, that's well observed writing, not caricaturing, right? Like, I feel like there's a kind of semantic like oversimplification, right? Where it's like, because this thing is observable and I've heightened it and I've crystallized it into the form of a character, that necessarily means it's a damaging thing. And I don't think it necessarily. I don't think that there's a kind of like I'm almost like doing a fucking ContraPoints thing where it's like it doesn't necessarily like this equals this, which equals harm, right?
Yeah.
You can follow a really inflexible path between observing a type of person to it's harmful to it's harmful to render this type of person, which again to me is a deadly thing, right? Where it's like, oh no, but then it means like you can't do that. It means that character can't exist because you find its construction problematic because you're worried about not you, of course not you, not what you would think, but what other people might think. They might get the wrong idea about gay people, right? And that's that's the whole like Alan thing. He's like, just as long as they're not up in my face, just like it's amazing how that like line is just survived throughout the years. But like
and survived so unchanged. It's
right.
exactly the same line you hear now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I think it's one thing for fucking where Jennifer and I come from in the UP for listeners, the Marquette High School, their mascot is the Red Men, right? That's a racist stereotype in a caricature, and it's awful. I don't know if they changed that shit.
I think they've changed it since.
Okay. Good. They should have, because that's fucking terrible. But right, but there's like a kind of there's a flattening of like words should mean things and they should be nuanced, but I guess we're not really capable of that, especially in like discourse. But like what I'm saying is this is writing with an intent to render something real into an artwork, and I think it just again I think it's successful. It's not something that's easy, and again it's something that's inherently treacherous. But I don't think this movie by any means falls into that. I think it like avoids treachery in that way pretty deftly, and just shows. I think broadly, what I'm seeing and what this idea of like reaching out of the outside of that narrow room that they occupy into the world that so often hurt them. When Emery calls the dentist and then tells the story about how the dentist, shared, it was funny, everyone was laughing at me, how Bernard had this fling with the people his mother worked for, who he worked for. So there's already that racial disparity. Their house like laborer.
Race and class.
Right, exactly, and like and like they're essentially using like the phone as a Ouija board to contact their fucking demons. And it's only Alan that gets to like fucking call his dumb fucking wife, like I love you, sweetie, I'm coming home, put the kids to bed, get Papa a warm glass of milk like he loves before bed, let's do some Don Draper shit. It's just like they're Ouija boarding it, and they're Ouija boarding the world that's made them that's given them scars. And I think that's also like really important to point out, is because their wounds, if we can call them that, their scars, their traumas are like born out of possessing a forbidden sexuality.
Yeah.
The new mascot for Marquette Senior High School they're the Sentinels now. That's of last fall.
That is perfectly innocuous. We love
go crazy, crazy MSHS. I also think that like the idea that this movie is stereotyping is like completely ridiculous. It's like it feels way more like the way the nerds talk shop in Clerks than it does like some sort of calcified acceptability or acceptable portrayal of like homosexuality. It feels way more like observed and way naturalistic isn't the right word, because everything's like so scripted, but like it evokes.
Yeah. Because there's peaks and valleys to it. Like they all communicate differently, They're of course they're all using like a lot of the same slang, and they're all like cutting up, but like they're some people do it less, some people do it more, some people do it meaner, some people do it more good-naturedly. Like Donald and Bernard are fairly easygoing overall, whereas Harold and Michael are evil. So they have a strata of gay people who are like trying to hurt each other for some fucking reason at the birthday party.
Yeah, if it was like 8 Amories or something, we'd be having a different discussion. But there's only one, and he gets that amazing zoom shot when he was explaining like his history about like why he loved this man and like his whole kind of like early formative years. Like I thought that scene was like amazing. And I loved how they shot it, and I love how they gave him like the space to just kind of do it all in one take.
No, that shot was fucking incredible. Like it's like Chiaroscuro behind him,
yeah.
And he's just like his eyes are unfocused, and he's just staring into the distance, and he has like a teardrop on his cheek. It's haunting. It was so good, and you could really feel them using their stage bona fides because like you're saying. It's all just when he's just monologuing and the camera just sits there and it fucking owned. I was so into that story. So in defense of Alan. No, I mean Alan is, he's the avatar for like the straight world. He's an unrepentant homophobe. However,
if there is a stereotype in here, it's maybe him.
Well, and I think this is a little more insidious because it's a little more subtle. So like this movie is like they put on a lot of the various things that gay men are cruel about. Like I said, there's racism in this movie. There is masculinity value judgments in this movie, but also something that you still see guys doing now. And people are very mean about it, in fact, is that this insistence that like all straight guys who are in any way proximate to a gay man are gay themselves or are like secretly gay or are like you're to the point where you're waiting for them to come out. Like there's like 3, I don't know that they're popular musicians anymore, but there were like 3 musicians in like the early, maybe late 20-teens that like I would see people constantly post about being like, when is he coming out? And it's just like this like guy who makes like shitty pop acoustic music, and they're just like I can't wait to see his OnlyFans, and I'm like, leave this man alone. But like but I mean of course that's like a parasocial thing, but like there is this idea that because we are the type of men who crave other men, and we most of us at some point spent time pretending to be straight despite having a different inclination. We assume that this must be true for all men who even come into like the orbit of the community. So I mean Michael's insistence, like it's browbeating, it's like it's ridiculous levels of cruelty trying to get Alan to admit to something that he apparently, well, you don't know if he did or not. I mean, he might have fooled around with this other friend. It's not you don't know one way or the other, and it doesn't really matter because Alan is not gay. Like he's even if he was bi-curious once upon a time, he's made a choice, and he doesn't seem to regret that choice. But it's sort of like this last final like cruelty that gay men do to other men is like insisting that everybody must feel like this. Everybody is a closet case. Mm-hmm. Everybody's lying about it. And it's weird shit. Like you see it done to like, of course, again, Alan is an unrepentant homophobe, but you see it done to like people who are ostensibly allies, or at least not actively antagonistic, where you sort of browbeat them or harass them or tease them about how like secretly gay they are. And it's like, I don't know, man, if you get to be gay, then they get to be straight. And that's just kind of the way that it works. So it's like this last like meanness that like I think the movie doesn't comment on quite as visibly, but it's very much, I don't know. I mean, Friedkin didn't let it go. Well, and of course the playwright, because I'm sure this is exactly the same as the play narratively, but like Friedkin and the playwright didn't let it go uncommented on.
Yeah, I mean, Michael believes that he sees clearly, right? And it's that hubris. It's that hubris that brings the game to, its gears into motion. But ultimately, where the rug gets pulled out from under him, because he believes he sees Alan clearly, when clearly he only sees what he wants to see. Which again is the fact that he can't stomach the idea that he's actually straight. You know, he you know, and that's where the character completely crumbles. It is in being so concretely and definitively wrong. You know, that hubris meeting a brick wall, to Harold's delight. Right? Like,
I feel like that there's a great, because that Michael's also a Catholic, and I feel like there's something deeply informed like there too, of like the like cutting down another to like not even like feel better about yourself, but to just sort of like share misery and spread misery, which I think is like deeply Catholic behavior.
Yeah, and it's so artful because I mean, Harold has that line, and it's Michael's like problem, right? Is that he is. I had commented earlier about how I don't know any gay men like this, but Michael is deeply self-loathing.
Yeah.
Not for any personality problem, but it's seemingly just for being gay, and so you can feel his rage at how dare Alan pretend to be straight when he can't pretend to be straight. He's obviously lying. How dare he continue to lie? And when it's clear that it's not a lie, at least, and as far as Alan's concerned, he's not lying. I mean, that's what triggers Michael's meltdown, where he's like sobbing because like he's come face to face with somebody who has what Michael thinks he deserves, heterosexuality.
Yeah.
And it's such an, because like a lesser movie would have had Michael, I don't know, look to Donald and be like, well, I hate myself. Like I hate myself because they hate us. Like, I mean, there's probably
there is kind of a scene where that happens, and it's like maybe my one flaw against the movie. Sorry, I spoke over you though. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. There was more like on the nose ways, I think, to like really drive that point home. Yeah, you're right. They do sort of do that, but like you could have almost had like a moment where Michael reveals too much, where he's like burying it because like he's impenetrable the whole movie, and you could have easily had this moment where he says too much and he sort of ruins the whole character. But instead, it's just this great. He plays himself in front of the camera for all of us, where like he hates himself so much that he assumes everybody else must be lying, because if he can't do it, nobody can.
Yeah.
It's so masterful.
Yeah, I mean that moment where they're the only people left, presumably, or at least in the frame, I think that Jennifer was talking about, is when Donald and Michael's just having a panic attack, and he's just taken a Vicodin to calm down. But Michael, and I had this thought when watching it. Michael says, "Why do we loathe ourselves so much?" And I'm like, are we using the royal we?
Yes.
I think it's the royal we.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe it is. Yeah.
And it's like no, like man, I don't know that that's happening with everybody else. I think Harold seems perfectly fine with who he is. I think there's a lot of wounds here, but you're really talking about yourself.
Yeah.
And once I also had friction with that moment, because it really felt like something that someone in a play says. But then
yes.
But I think very definitely
it was too naked. Sorry.
It's nakedness. It's nakedness as a line. But I think what helps, at least for me, stand the edges off is once he's just stopped having like the world's actually most believable insane panic attack. Like, I've baby been there.
Realistic depiction of a panic attack on screen.
And like, but once he calms down, once he takes the fucking Vicodin, he immediately starts cutting into Donald again. He immediately starts talking shit.
Yeah.
Like, he just snaps back to, instead of this being like a moment where one learns, or where the curtains draw, like, well, why do we loathe each other so much, and the curtains close and the audience claps, right? It's like, no, he's back to being a dick to Donald, who's like the nicest guy at the party. It's just he's back. Like, again, he through this experience, and it's kind of like foreshadowed in some of the dialogue in the beginning, where it's like, Michael's like, I've stopped drinking, because of the ick. The ick is like, you wake up and you're like, what the fuck happened last night? And, he goes through the kind of process of like, and then you just do it all over again. You drink and then you fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, what the fuck? And, in that way, like, he's doing what he talked about earlier in the film, where it's like fucking boom, like amnesia, memory erase. None of that shit just happened. I'm back to the old me. Yeah. And that's
I'm going to church.
Right. I'm going, right. Exactly. Oh, exactly. I'm going to midnight mass. And it's like, okay, then you've not meaningfully changed as a character. And like, I think that helps me with the film too, because like, it's like I just spent the evening doing the most sociopathic shit. But I'm gonna catch mass and I'll see you later.
Honestly work.
Yeah, exactly. Gay does some sociopathic shit. Audience honestly work.
No, you're absolutely right, Craig. What makes this movie for me, because I talked myself into a 5-star rating about 6 minutes into this episode.
Hell yeah.
To me, what makes this movie kind of perfect is the ending, because Harold does it and Michael does it, the two evilest guys in the room. Like Harold does this horribly mean thing. I mean, again, Michael was just evil for an hour, but like Harold does this thing where he like just dresses Michael down in front of everybody, in front of their entire friend group at his own birthday party, where he just tells him what a bitter, unlovable, hateful queen that he is, and then he's like, "I'll call you tomorrow." Like all of this incredible, because like this is such a bad listener. If you haven't seen the movie, it is the worst evening you can possibly imagine. I really can't understate
the vibes are so heinous.
Whatever you're imagining, it's weirder and more uncomfortable. The fact that both Harold and then Michael's like, I'll go to church and we'll talk tomorrow, that kind of thing. Like the fact that like everybody is so sure that like this evening hasn't meaningfully ruined their relationship, Alan and Michael are probably done, but he's not gay. He doesn't get it. So like that this friend group hasn't completely dissolved and is in fact so elastic as to take this evening of abuse in stride, and they'll just do this again in 2 weeks from now on another Saturday. That's to me what makes this movie perfect, is like these people are expressing like insane cruelty to each other, probably because the world has expressed insane cruelty to them, but for some reason it's just, I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the impression that by the end of it that like, when they're leaving, it's like, hey, thanks for hosting the party. Like it was pretty sincere, and there wasn't a lot of like sarcasm to that sentiment. It was sort of like, all right, I'll see you at the next one. Like this has happened before, and it will almost certainly happen again over and over again.
Yeah, that's really just the cherry on top. Is like this is not just the worst night of this friend group's lives. This is just a birthday party.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're already an hour in. The apartment, you guys. It's
good. It's really good.
I would kill and or die for that apartment. It has this kind of cozy living room. It has a kitchen that is like recessed into the ground, which is fascinating. It's it's halfway between floors, and then there's this huge terrace outside, and then the upstairs is like, it's like a tower sort of, and there's like a loft type hallway.
Yeah,
I would do anything to live there. Anything at all.
I love how like the living room like opens up into the like balcony area as well, like like a restaurant that has like those giant windows that slide open to just sort of like make it one seamless space. There's a lot of like Adrian Lyne sort of cluttercore coziness to the whole space, and yeah, I similarly envy it.
We've seen some good apartments in the 100 years that we've been doing this podcast, but this is up there for me. I think I've hit all of my big soapbox points. I just thought this was so gleeful. I just like something that sorry, before I lose this thought, something that I didn't even notice, but Matt did. Did you guys notice that like each of them was sort of color coded as like a color of the rainbow?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Bernard is red. Donald and the cowboy are blue and indigo. Michael is purple because he has that purple sweater on. Emery is in like that yellowy beige. And like each of the characters, and then I think what really clued Matt in is that Hank is wearing like a plaid shirt. He's dressed like a straight guy, but he has this like bold green tie, so he's like the green in the rainbow. Cool. I liked it. I didn't notice it until Matt pointed it out, and I'm like, damn. All right, Friedkin. All right, Billy. I see what you've done here.
All right, Twitter mutual William Friedkin.
because I mean, if you think about it, because yeah, you're the show's That's my in-law. Because if you think about it, Alan walks in and in the narrative of the movie, Alan was off to a formal dinner, so he's in like a black and white tux, but he is colorless. There's meaningfully and pointedly no color in his outfit. And I think that's important when every other character is wearing a color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Folks, that you like to see color.
When did the gay community adopt the rainbow flag?
Probably around this time. I'm going to say the 60s.
Sure.
Hold on, I'm Googling it. Now I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait. Okay, now I'm confused. Okay, because now they're saying... Okay, the streets are saying that the rainbow flag was introduced in 1979.
Ooh. Billy did it again.
How can that be? What did he know?
Does he know?
Because like they're so color-coded.
It's so deliberate, yeah.
It's so deliberate. I wonder, okay, here's my thing. I wonder if if the rainbow was still like a symbol, there just wasn't like a flag until 1979.
When did Clue come out?
When
Everyone's a color in
80s.
Clue. Oh, damn.
That's true.
I love that movie.
Clue's great.
Fucking great movie.
Oh my God, of course. That's one of my favorite line reads.
I quote that probably like once a month. It's one of the best ones. Because everyone does flames, on the side of my face.
Yeah.
Like it's super good. But the oh my God, of course, is
so much better.
underappreciated.
Yeah. It's
okay. I'm seeing that like the rainbow was not a gay symbol until 1978. What did he know, dude? That's crazy. Whatever. Ignore everything. Leave it all in. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, he had the gift. He had Apollo's gift of prophecy. And he put it into this movie.
And he said that Jade was his favorite. He made this movie, then he made The French Connection, then he made The Exorcist, then he made Sorcerer, and he still said Jade was his favorite movie.
You just named like 4.5 to 5-star films.
That's just the funniest fucking thing that you could believe about
He
your
rocks,
career.
man. There was no one else like him.
There isn't a funnier thing to say about your career. Yeah, in retrospect.
The more I learn about William Friedkin, the more I see his movies, the funnier that quote is.
It's the reason we say it once every 10 episodes or so on the show. Because it's the only bad one I've seen. Like every William Friedkin movie I've seen is like, well, I haven't seen near his whole filmography, but like, I guess I've just seen the hits. I don't know, but like he's made some incredible. He's made some incredible movies, and as I think that's the only one we've done on the show that we weren't all pretty positive on. And it's just so funny.
I'm excited to revisit Cruising because I think the first time we watched it, like the initial assessment was that you guys didn't like it that much.
No, I was positive. I went in this whole thing about how I thought it was less homophobic than the Beauty and the Beast remake. I distinctly remember that screed.
Check the tape.
Check the tape.
Check the tape. Editor. No, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, if I'm wrong, like tell me. But I remembered liking it. But I do want to watch it again because that was also really early. It was pretty early in the show's history, so it deserves a revisit.
I think it's going to be episode 400.
Let's go.
Just coming up closer than I would have expected. It's like episode 354.
Oh, that's not far. Yeah, we'll see you this time next year.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll see you next Pride.
For cruising again. Yeah, I originally gave this 4.5 stars. I'm going to go up to 5. I actually, every time I talk about it, I get more excited about it. It would be disingenuous to not bring it up.
I think you've convinced me to go up to 5. I initially had it at 4.5 as well, just because there's that one scene like, why must we do this or whatever, and it was just like too broad of a sentiment for like kind of the content of the rest of the movie, and I felt like it couldn't really wield that correctly. But now I think that the good so far outweighs that moment that I think it's a 5.
Yeah, no, I think this is a perfect movie. It's fucking great. Killer. 5 out of 5.
Oh, we got one.
Pantheon. Billy's back in it. He might be the most straight 5 decorated filmmaker in Swimfans history.
I think so, because The Exorcist and Sorcerer, I think, are both definitely in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I gave The French Connection 5 stars, but I'm pretty certain I gave Sorcerer 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Because
we all gave Jade 5 stars, so
I fucking
it was his best movie.
I checked before this episode. You two gave it 1 star. I gave it a half star.
Okay, that's the movie where they drive a car through like Chinatown, right?
Yeah,
speaking of caricatures, the mob, the Chinatown mob, that like, Jesus Christ, that movie's a fucking mess. Oh man.
Vinegar Syndrome put out a 4K of Boys in the Band last month.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think this movie would really benefit from it. Because like you were saying, Jennifer, there's all these close-ups where like everybody's so sweaty, or maybe they're wet from the rain, but people are wet in this movie, and there's a lot of like skin texture that I think would look really nice on a nice restoration.
I really love how like 70s the film looked, and like how like kind of like grainy and like soft it was. Like I thought it was like, I don't know, I've never seen so many gay people look like this. Be depicted in these pastels.
Yeah. The film stock is really fucking crazy. I mean, it's a little like it's like a little earthy or something. It's like it's a little. But there's a kind of subduedness to the color palette here, but it works. Like it really. It's a really special looking film as well. The grain's beautiful.
Oh, did you guys know that there's a Ryan Murphy produced remake of this that came out in 2020?
Yes. Big Bang Theory plays Michael.
Yeah, old Sheldon.
Yeah, old Sheldon. I mean, honestly, they kind of look similar. I can see why they did that.
Yeah.
And then I think Zachary Quinto is Harold. Which, like, I'm like neutral on Zachary Quinto, but I wonder if he has the menace required to be Harold.
I think he could do it.
We might watch it because Matt also really liked the Boys in the Band, so he was interested in checking out the remake. I didn't know Ryan Murphy had anything to do with it, though. That's sort of not appealing.
I think he just produced it, though. He didn't direct it.
Good. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. I feel like I just screamed about gay people for 40 minutes, but it's Pride Month, so you have to listen to it. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I mean, if folks, if you're looking for like some Pride movies, you could start here. You could do worse. So, if you want to fill up your June with gay stuff, I know that like every year Matt and I watch Paris is Burning. It's kind of I tried to like stave off wanting to watch Paris is Burning until June, so that it's like the Grinch now, where I wait until Christmas to watch the Grinch. Yes, it's like a treat. So if you want to like sort of tuck in, start here. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. All right. So that is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Wherever you're listening, please rate, please review, please subscribe, please leave a comment, please do all that good stuff. Thank you and please and thank you. You can get in touch with the show if you want to send in a question or if you want to send in a recommendation or if you just want to say hi. You can do that on Instagram or Blue Sky, user Swimfans Pod. You can do it on the Spotify episode comment field, or you can do it by email, swimfanspodcast@gmail.com. You can find the show on all the social medias, as I said, Instagram and Blue Sky, and also Letterboxd, Swimfans Pod. We have a Patreon, all right? That's patreon.com/swimfans. For as low as $1 a month, you can get access to all the good stuff. I submitted myself for ritual flogging on our last episode because it's my fault. We're a little behind. But the doves are going to get what the doves are owed. So if you want to become one, you too will get your share. You will get the food in your bowl. But there's all sorts of fun stuff over there. We just did a new anime club for the 95 Otomo-produced anthology film Memories. So if you want to see a bunch of anime that doesn't fit the usual show's oeuvre, all sorts of stuff you can check out over on Patreon. So patreon.com/swimfans. I am on all social medias, user Amons, AMONNS. I just saw Backrooms.
Oh.
I liked it. For a movie about a creepypasta that is by its origin completely non-narrative because it's just a photograph of a couple rooms, this could have easily been a fucking disaster. I liked it. I won't spoil it because it just came out, but I think it's clear that the movie, the people making the movie put a lot of their budget and a lot of their care into the set of the back rooms, and it shows because I think that set fucking slaps. And it's I'm sure that what I'm guessing they must have done is they must have made modular set pieces to make the room feel as big as, to make the back rooms feel as expansive as possible without, making something ridiculous. But you can't tell. To me, the back rooms look fucking huge. They do such a good job with the set. It really feels big. Honestly, I kind of want to go there. I know you're not supposed to want to go there probably, but I kind of want to go there. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but I think it could have been a lot worse. Jen.
Is it comparable to Cube?
No, Cube. This might surprise you. Cube has a way stronger narrative to it than Backrooms does.
Interesting.
Backrooms has a story, but not really. And sorry, I don't want to say anything more than that, but it's shockingly not a very plot-driven movie.
I'm curious about it. Anyway, you can follow me on Blue Sky, diatron5.swimfanspod.com. I'm on Letterboxd Diatron. I haven't really watched too many movies recently, but I'm almost done with Evangelion, so that might be end of Evangelion might be next week.
Ooh, nice. Okay, nice.
Not to spoil that. Craig?
You can find me at Craig Neeson on Instagram and Letterboxd, craigneeson.com. I put on a film called Monolith, 2022 Monolith. I think it's Australian. Lured me in with the hope of being a science fiction film, but it's one of these science fiction film thrillers. This woman's a podcaster, all right, and she's a disgraced journalist, and she's now podcasting mysteries and the unknown and UFOs and whatever. These people, she gets a anonymous email, and people are finding these weird bricks. They're like little bricks, and they seem to have some significance in these people's lives, and it's all a metaphor, and I don't like that. I don't like it. I think we need to stop doing the metaphors with the things. I think I would like to see an alien, please, ma'am.
Let's keep it literal.
Yeah, honestly,
you better show me a fucking alien, and let's be real about that.
Yeah, no, I called it alien baiting in my review. It alien baited me into watching it, and I'm not pleased with that.
You didn't deserve that.
Yeah, I know, I truly didn't. It was
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel very validated. I had to sit there while it inflicted itself on me. It sucked.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.